Welcome all of you right now. We're going live. We are live right now. Want to welcome all of you. We'll be getting started here in just a second. That's good. That's good. He's getting ready to get out of here. All right. There he is. Good. My name is Antonio T. Smith Jr. We are getting started. Let me just share to my personal page, and then you guys can have as much fun as you like. Antonio T. Smith Jr., this is the Plant Better Mindset phone call. We do this here every single Sunday. As usual, I have the greatest staff on all the earth. Woo! All right, there we go. I just muted and started the phone call, so let's go ahead and get started. I want to skip every single announcement for tonight. I just want to tell you about the Brick by Brick podcast with myself and my assistant, Tempest Smith. We call her Coach T. Yes, you can clap for Tempest. Yes. If you don't know her, or if you haven't heard her, you will understand why those claps happen. If you download the podcast, you will see that love is genuine and it is sincere. So, catch that podcast right there. I have a lot of people over the phone. I am enjoying you. Let's get started. I need to talk to you today about stop compromising. Okay? Stop compromising. So as you share this feed, I need to get started. Listen, my brothers and my sisters, my friends, my ladies and my gentlemen and my boys and girls and my children of all ages, we of Generation X proudly, no, I'm just joking, but you understand. That's a wrestling joke right there if you've ever heard it. The point is, you must stop compromising. You compromise every single thing that you do. I don't mean to be rude. I don't mean to be disrespectful. But right now, many of you are in terrible relationships because you have compromised with picking your mate. And then you are in terrible relationship because you have compromised with lowering your ego. You are in compromising situations because you are a chronic compromiser. Write that down. Some people, most people, are chronic compromisers. How do we identify chronic compromisers? You find these people by looking at their harvest. That's what it is. Listen, you can compromise on your dreams all you want, but your harvest will never be a compromise. It will always be in full effect. Did you hear what I just said? Okay, I only want to talk to you about 5 things today, but right now just regale me in this introductory part of this particular motivational coaching call. You are chronic compromising when your harvest is in full effect against your dreams. Think about that for a second. Some of you take the same road to work that you hate. You live in a city that you hate. You drive a car that you hate. You work with coworkers that you hate. You have a boss that you hate. And you go home to someone you hate in a house that you hate. And that you call life. And it's disgusting. It's not the way it works. Life's too short for you to be with somebody that doesn't make you happy anymore. Life's too short for you to work at a job at some place that doesn't make you happy no more. And the reason why you stay in situations, which is a decision, that no longer serve you is because you're compromising. Allow me to give you just a few examples. You are at a job that you don't like because you are afraid to be the new person on a new one. Compromising. How many of you right now, by show of hands, are literally at a job that is not paying you your worth because you are too tired or too old or too afraid to be the new guy or girl at the job? How dare you affect the lives of your children because you don't want to be the new person? How dare you affect your dreams in the future because you don't want to be a poor person, a new person. Guys, listen to me. At some point, you have to get out your comfort zone and stop compromising. But that's the deal about compromising. Compromising is more comfortable than conquering. I haven't even got to the 5 things I want to talk to you about. I just want to hit you in the face with some. No, I'm not even close to the 5 things I want to talk about. I just want to let you know that the reason you keep compromising, because it is easier to compromise than it is to conquer. And it's easier to talk about conquerors with a group full of compromisers. You missed what I just said. I'll rewind that. Compromisers always talk about conquerors. And you got to stop that. Compromisers always talk about conquerors. Yes, you got a question.
I was going to ask if you could repeat. Is
Sure.
it easier to compromise than it is?
It is easier to compromise than it is to conquer. In your mentality. But let me help you. The truth is, as far as energy goes, it takes far more energy to compromise than it does to conquer. As far as mentality goes, you think that, well, it's too hard to go do what I want to do. It's too hard. They won't let me. I don't have the credit to get the house. I don't have the skills to apply for the job. Did you know that statistically that 70% of women only apply for 30% of the jobs that they feel they're qualified for because they're not 100% qualified for it? Did you know that? Did you know that 70% of women only apply for 30% jobs only if they meet 100% of the qualifications? While men just walk up and apply knowing that they only meet 30% of the qualifications. Women, you are holding yourself back because you're compromising, because you let somebody tell you in order to be a woman you have to outperform men. I'm not telling you that that's not all the way true. I'm telling you, do not accept other people's ideologies that do not work for you. Because if working hard worked, all of you would be millionaires. But the hardest working people you know in your life are also the poorest people you know in your life. Because people take advantage of hard working people who will keep their mouth shut and take pennies. But as far as real deal scientific energy goes, it literally takes more energy to compromise. Because when you compromise, you got to buy stuff as if you were not. So when you compromise, you got to lie to your friends about how this is not really what it looks like. When you compromise, you have to spend a lot of time trying to be happy when you're unhappy. When you compromise, you have to spend a lot of time at the Red Box spending money on movies so you can forget your reality. When you're compromising, you have to spend a lot of time binge watching shows on Netflix because you're trying to escape the reality that you are not a conqueror because you decided to do so. And the truth is, all of you are conquerors. Every last one of you. But you've been taught to compromise. I still haven't got to my 5 things yet. I still haven't got to them yet. The number one teachers in your life who have taught you how to compromise have been your parents. They did the best they could with what they had, but that car note got in the way, so they had to compromise. They taught you things like money don't grow on trees. Anybody ever heard that one before? They taught you things like, I'm not Rockefeller, I don't have money. They taught you things like, when you go into this store, don't ask for nothing. I wish I had some real people that had some real parents. Your parents accidentally taught you lack. And since they come from a generation in which hard work and Social Security would pay off. So they come from a generation to where you had to depend not on health care, but having 9 kids. Hopefully that one of those kids will come back and make sure that you're not in a nursing home, since they had to depend on banks because FDR bailed out such banks. Since they had to do all these things, they taught you, be safe, go to school, get a job. One of them jobs that let you off on the holidays. Do we got the same grandmother? We got the same mama. You understand what I'm saying? And the truth is, the people that you admire don't have degrees. The people, if whatever phone you have in your pocket right now, it doesn't matter. Apple, Android, those people, yeah. They don't have degrees. Now, Android, those guys came out of Stanford. You got to go work with Bill Gates with a degree. He doesn't have a degree. Mark Zuckerberg, degree. You watching me on Facebook, degree, and he don't have one. Guys, stop it. Now let me tell you the 5 things I want to tell you about. If you want to stop compromising, I'm going to tell you just 5 things. I don't know how long it's going to last. I'm not even looking at the time. I've closed my laptop. I want to tell you 5 things. Thing number 1, you got to know what you want. Oh, this is the hardest thing for people who have compromised to get. Knowing what you want. When you've compromised your whole life, you forgot to actually pick something that you wanted. You ever tried to eat with somebody who compromised all the time? Where you want to go? I don't know where you want to go. And 50 minutes later, you warm up some Hot Pockets because both of y'all are compromiser and you can't even eat. You got to know what you want.
Reverend.
You have to know what you want. Why do you need to know what you want? Because when you know what you want, I cannot put on you what you do not want. Did you hear what I just said? When you know what you want, I cannot put on you what you do not want. They're still missing it. When you know what you want, I cannot put on you what you do not want. There is a story in a pretty good book that some of you may have heard of about a little guy named David, and he was not his father's best choice. As a matter of fact, his father really didn't care too much about him at the least, because when it was time to show his son some favor, he left out this little kid named David, this little runt. He was one of those sheep people that guarded the sheep, and he smelled like sheep boo-boo. And all these things that he had to do. He wasn't one of the pretty sons, and his father named Jesse didn't really care about him, or so to speak, at least with the evidence that we have. And one day, David looks at this big old giant disrespecting his people. And everybody is scared of the people. And then David says, I'll take care of this. And the king of that day says, listen, my man, you crazy. My man, you crazy. You crazy, but I appreciate you because I needed somebody, because I wasn't going out there. My man, you crazy. You crazy. I wasn't going out there, but you crazy though. Can we just pause right there? Listen, the people in your life will literally tell you crazy about something that they too scared to do themselves. That one was for free. Quit letting scary people tell you how crazy you are. That one was still for free. Let me repeat it again. Quit letting scary people tell you how crazy you are about being a dreamer. But David wasn't a dreamer. David knew that he had a purpose, and he knew that this was a problem and this giant must fall. And the king said, David, put on my armor. And David puts on his armor. He puts it on real good. He puts it on good. David puts it on this full of gold and stuff and silver and all this good stuff. And then David says to one of the greatest things you'll ever hear in your life, David says, man, this don't fit me.
Talk, sir.
Oh, you missed it. David puts on the best armor in his nation. It's the king's armor. It fits the king. But David says, even though it's better than what I have, it don't fit me. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, people will always try to put something on you that does not fit. They'll keep telling you you got an attitude problem and you got rid of that 14 years ago. They'll keep telling you to go get a job and jobs don't fit you. Stop letting people put on you what does not fit.
All right, sir.
You got to stop letting people put stuff on you that don't fit. David knew that if I was going to win, I was going to have to win with my own style. My shoulders can't move. And all this good stuff you say. Listen, it's everything. Some of you like BMWs, but when you get in it, it just don't feel right. That's not to say that you want to be poor. That's just to say that you know what, you're happy that they got a BMW, but you don't need all that. Some of you can't sing a lick, but you can really file some papers. And they keep telling you, well, go on out there and play basketball and sing and say, no, I'm going to just stay right here. And I'm going to stay in my lane and dominate my lane, because what fits you don't fit me. You got to know what you want. Because when you know what you want, you will know what you don't want. And people like me, no matter how charismatic, cannot put something on you that does not fit. Can I introduce to you something you know deep in your subconscious, deep in your heart? Some of you are in relationships that don't fit.
What not?
Can I introduce it to you? Can I introduce it to you? Some of you let somebody put a relationship on you. And that relationship never fit. And you done fell in love with somebody who don't fit. And you done fooled around and had kids with somebody who don't fit. Because your mama told you, when you gonna give me some grandbabies? And your daddy told you, you need to find somebody. And now you got child support and all sorts of crazy stuff because you let old people and wrong people and poor people put a relationship on you that don't fit. Can I help you out just for a second? Ain't nothing wrong with being single.
Talk, Reverend.
If ain't nobody out there, you love on yourself until somebody come. Some of you are in car notes that don't fit.
Reverend.
I just want to tell you, see, if you went to the car lot and knew what you want, you wouldn't have that $475 car note that you can't afford. Some of you right now are car broke because you didn't know what you wanted when you went to the car lot, and now you're car depressed. No, you can't do it like that. If you know what you want, can't no charismatic salesman puts a car note on you that don't fit. Oh, I'm trying to help you out. You got to know what you want. Because when you know what you want, it is strong enough to pull you through the bull of life. If you're not mistaken, let me say it a different way. Let me up my vernacular just for a second. When you know exactly the target in which you decide to acquire, the manure of life cannot stick you and let you sink in it. Some of you are literally trapped in manure. Now, here's the deal. We're all human, and we got to walk through manure whether we are privileged or not, whether we were born to billionaires or not. So if you got to walk through manure, you might as well be walking to something that you want.
All right.
But, when you don't know what you want, other people put stuff on you. Last thing about knowing what you want. Ladies and gentlemen, when you don't know what you want, one of those leaders that's real close to your life, can I give you a few examples? Your boss, your grandmother. In fact, write these down. I'm gonna tell you the people that if you're not careful, they'll have you living their dreams and not your own. When you know what you want, the people you are endeared to can't make you live their dreams. Your boss, your pastor. I hit somebody in the heart. I know pastor need help. He don't need your help all the time. When you know what you want, everything that your grandmother need ain't necessarily serving you. Your mama. How many of you know that how many of you know that your mama complained about you so much that she just had you clean up the house the whole day?
Reverend.
Come on now, come on. How many of you got that grandmother? You understand what I'm saying? It's not that they don't love you. They just want to keep you safe in their environment and feed you pennies so you don't go out there and waste the money that they don't think you're responsible to take care of. Anybody know these people like that? Anybody know somebody that got their own business and would keep you working and hustling for their business, never to let you start your own business? Ladies and gentlemen, when you know what you want, then people like this cannot make you spend 95% in their dreams while you put only 5% of your energy in yours. Mm-hmm. Knowing what you want, keep these three type of things away. It keeps people from putting stuff on you that does not fit. It keeps people from making you live in their dreams and not in your own. And it keeps you out of relationships that you got to pay for the rest of your life. Number 2. Oh, man. Number 2, when you know what you want. I'm going to lose about half the people after this point. They're going to disconnect. When you know what you want, walk in that direction and be willing to lose everything. So that was too hard. Wait, that was number 2. When you know what you want, walk in that direction and be willing to lose everything. Listen, the reason why most of you are not successful is because you're not willing to lose. See, you're not ready for that. Forget the fact that losing is just opportunity that's hidden in the middle of failure, and failure doesn't really exist. Forget that. That's another point for another phone call, which is a very hidden and golden truth that has been around for forever. But forget that point. If you are doing anything and you're not willing to die for it, you will not succeed. If you're doing anything and you're not willing to lose everything for it, you will not succeed. Some of you are doing the right things and all the right business moves, but the people around you need to be dropped and you won't let them go. Some of you have businesses with business partners that are holding you back. You're married with 2 spouses that are holding you back. I say this with respect. I'm not telling you to go out there and do all the crazy stuff. I'm just telling you that if you're going to do something, you might as well do it and be willing to lose everything, because the only people who are willing to lose everything gain everything. Why is this important? Because when you're willing to lose everything, you're out your comfort zone. When you take high risk, you get high reward. When you take high risk, you get high reward. The reason why the harvest in your life is so low and mediocre, because the risk in your life is so low and mediocre.
Sir!
Some of you have been safe your whole life and want a wonderful breakthrough. Listen, you cannot be in financial freedom and be safe.
No.
You know why? Because energy is just money, and money is just energy. In order to get money, you got to spend a whole lot of energy, and you can't be safe and use energy. Listen, why are you doing something and you're not willing to die for it? Because the moment that you're not willing to die for it, the moment it gets too hard, you're going to go back into the comfort of your living room. I'm not doing this. I don't have to put up with this. They know who I am. They need to respect me. I don't have to do this. And the only people who say what they're not going to do are the people who are not willing to die for what they actually want to do. What? Imagine if Rosa Parks wasn't willing to die to sit in that seat. Imagine if Abraham Lincoln wasn't willing to die for his political stance. Imagine if Martin Luther King wasn't willing to die for the dream that he actually died for.
Yeah.
Can you imagine a comfortable world changer? Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
A comfortable world changer? What if the first time Martin Luther King got a death threat, he was like, I'm not finna do this. I got my church to handle. This ain't what I'm supposed to do.
Oh, Lord.
Listen, all this comfort stuff, You praise the people who are willing to die for their dreams, but you're not willing to die for yours. And then you're mad when you're not being praised. The only time you're being praised is when you're gossiping on social networks. And if you want to have more inside your life, then you ought to be able to do something besides just being a gossiper. And you can't be anything in comfort but a comfortable couch potato. Listen, if you want it, you got to be willing to die for it.
Yeah.
If you want it, you got to be willing to die for it. What if Mother Teresa wasn't comfortable giving her life away for everybody? When you find out what you want, did you see how it naturally progressed? Know what you want, and when you find out what you want, be willing to lose everything. Some of the people in your life are holding you back because you won't let them go. Somebody need to write that down. Somebody need to recognize that the only reason you are where you are is because of the decisions you have made and the people you have kept in your life. The only reason you are where you are today is because of the decisions you have made and the people you have kept in your life. Number 3, winning changes everything. Listen, if you guys want to stop compromise, you got to start winning. It's not really, winners don't compromise, but compromisers never win. Did you hear what I just said? Winners don't compromise, but people who compromise don't even know how to win. Les Brown says it best. There are winners and there are losers, and there are people who have not quite yet figured out how to win. And the people who have not quite yet figured out how to win are the people who compromise day in and day out. You want to lose 50 pounds, but every time you get that pie in front of you, you compromise and eat it. Oh. You hate your body when you get out the shower, but you don't do any kind of cardio. That's compromising. You're not willing to compromise. Some of you, the only time I'm not going to do that.
Come on, you out there now.
Let me not do that. The only time some of you sweat is when you're sleeping and the air conditioner is set too high.
Oh.
Come on, you got to be able to sweat for this. You got to be able to die for this. Yeah, sure was. You literally got to do more because winning changes everything. How many of you right now know somebody in your life that don't want you to make it? Come on, be honest with me. Right? And some of you have them family members that still treat you like you 20 years old or 14 years old. You still got them. You still got them. Start winning. Start winning and see what happens. Winning does 2 things. It can only do 2 things. Winning does 2 things. Winning makes people change their opinion about you, or winning makes people distance themselves so much from you that they talk about you from miles away. They're going to talk about you anyway. Let them talk about you as you're financially intelligent. Winning does 2 things. Winning changes people's opinion about you, or winning pushes people so far away from you that they talk about you way from a distance. It'd be like this here. I can't stand her. She don't know. Hey, girl. You know who I'm talking about. Winning pushes people or repels them. It draws them into you as an influence, or pushes them far away, and be happy about the people that your winning has pushed away from you.
Amen.
We got to talk about that for a second, because some of you actually got the winning down, and then you keep running back and chasing losers. Some of you got the winning down. You got your degree, and you keep running back chasing the same dude who didn't even want you to have one. Some of you right now, you got your dreams. You just got the good job, and you keep running and chasing losers, and you lost a good job because you popped hot on the piss test. Come on, somebody got to understand that when you start winning, stop chasing the people who don't win. We got to talk about it. We got to talk about it. Winning changes everything, and the most important thing that winning changes you. Do you know how much confidence you receive when you take a small victory? Then you take a small victory and put that on the top of a small victory. Then you put that on top of another small victory. And you get your first $5,000 deal. You say crazy things like, I wonder if this would work for a $10,000 deal. Then when you put in the work and you get that $10,000 deal, then you just crazy. You don't double it. You say, I wonder if this would work with a $50,000 deal. Then you put in the work and you get a $50,000 check in one day. Then you say, wait a minute. I wonder if this would work for $1 million. But you'll never even try to be $1 million if you never caught the first sale that was just $1. Come on, winning changes everything. Winning changes the people around you. It draws the people to you, or it changes you. And the funny thing about money is you got to grow out to it. It will dwindle when it comes to you. See, I got to talk about it. Let me give you $1 million right now. If all you are is a $30,000 person, you won't stop until you turn that $1 million into $30,000.
Oh.
You got to grow out to money to keep it. But some of you don't want to grow. Some of you don't want to grow. Number 4. I just had 5 things. Number 4. This world owes me everything. I'm going to tell you about me and you listen to me, and then we're going to turn it around on you. See, I ate out them trash cans. Literally lived in one. Galveston, Texas, 77550, 1987. Parents gave me up, left me for dead. No disrespect to them. They did the best they could with what they had, but crack cocaine came through and left me out. I know what it feels like to eat out of trash cans. I get that. I know what it feels like to fail the 5th grade at Wise Intermediate School. I promise you, go look it up. It is a fact. I know what it feels like to turn around and then fail the 6th grade and then repeat the 6th grade. By the time I graduated, I was a grown man. I know what it feels like to have adults talking about you as a kid, but not helping you at all. I know what it feels like to have parents tell you, keep you away from their kids. I know what it feels like to have to forge your mother's signature who you've never seen since you were 6 years old. Now you 13. I know what it feels like to know how to cook at the age of 6. I know what it feels like to know how to pick every lock known to man at the age of 7. I know what it feels like to sleep outside and get ate up by mosquitoes. I know what it feels like for you to go talk to an old person on 4709 Avenue O. These are real facts. And they tell you if you don't want to get bit up by mosquitoes, put Vaseline all over your body because the mosquitoes can't get through the Vaseline. Don't sit up here and tell me. I know what it feels like to stuff newspaper in my clothes just so I can stay warm. This world owes me everything. Everything. As much as you put me through, you're not finna give me. You crazy. As much homelessness as I had to endure, Vaseline I had to steal to put on my body just not to get ate up by mosquitoes, as much hungry nights as I had, as much beatings that I had to take down because somebody tried to eat my food at 7 years old, and you think I'm not going to give everything they got for me? You would never find me scared in a meeting. Because the people in that meeting would never have been through what I've been through just to get here. You missed what I just said. You would never find me intimidated at no meeting because you don't know what it took for me to get here. And I am not afraid. And if you don't want me to have it, that's between you and your ego, because this world owes me everything. Enough about me, something about you. You've been through some problems. Don't matter if you've been privileged or not. Pain is pain, and everybody finds pain. And if you've ever had to cry a tear, this world owes you everything.
Oh, sir.
So why are you out here settling? Then you get your heart broke at 13? World owes you everything. You didn't get that pony at 6? World owes you everything. You ain't get that little red car? World owes you everything. You ain't get that Game Boy? World owes you everything. Go get it. Whatever it is. I'm not telling you be spoiled. I'm telling you be pissed off for greatness. I'm not telling you to be mad. I'm telling you to be determined because everybody owes you money. Now, how do you get it? You got to provide a service. The dean of self-development, Mr. Earl Nightingale, says there's only two ways to make money. You either provide a service or you work at the mint. There's only two ways. You either create it by working at the mint, or you got to provide a service. Ask yourself, what kind of service are you providing? Because let me tell you something that the great Jim Rohn would tell you, that you get paid exactly what you deserve by the quality of service that you provide. Everybody listen to me right now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me. Everything you have right now in your bank account, that's what you deserve, because that's the energy you put out into this universe. See, people don't like that one. I'm in overdraft. I'm not a negative. Your energy is. Your help to this world is at a negative. You only get paid according to the worth that you provide. It's called the law of compensation. Look it up. I promise you, you can Google it. I assure you, from Ralph Waldo Emerson writing about it to all riches to Babylon, you will only get what you deserve. Nothing more, nothing less. If you buy my book, I deserved it. If you don't buy my book in your life, I deserved it. Nothing different. Number 5. Kill your excuses. You said you can't get stuff out this life and be talking about how you can't get it. Because every time you say I am, that's a creation. Every time you say I can't, that's a creation. Every time you blame somebody else, you're not taking responsibility for you. Every time you mistreating somebody, you're affecting your own harvest. Every time you are in a state of disharmony to make somebody else feel bad, you are ruining your own harvest. And the reason why you are overweight, and the reason why you have no friends, and the reason why you have no legacy is because all you do is make excuses instead of moves. I'm not telling you anything wrong with being overweight. If that's what you like, go ahead and handle it. But I'm telling you, ain't no sense in you making a whole lot of money and dying the next day from high cholesterol. Some of you right now don't have anything, and the only friends you have come through other people, because that's your worth. And you don't want to admit it. And you mad at everybody who tells you something of self-development because you secretly mad at yourself. You're mad at Jim Rohn because he corrected you. He didn't correct you. He told you a universal truth. You're mad at Tony Robbins because he didn't correct you. He told you a universal truth. What is the universal truth? The more you make excuses, the poorer you are. Stop compromising. Stop compromising. You are too great to compromise. You are source unlimited. Why are you compromising? You are God of choice. Why are you compromising? You're the greatest person that's ever lived in your skin. Why are you compromising? You can do anything exceedingly and abundantly above all that you can ask or think. Why are you compromising? Stop compromising. The whole world is yours. Let me repeat. Know what you want. When you find out what you want, be willing to go in that direction and lose everything, even if it's people. Winning changes everything. This world owes you everything. So stop making excuses. My name is Antonio T. Smith Jr. I can't tell you what to do with your life. I can tell you for sure, if you plant better seeds, you will literally have a better life. Stop playing. Start making moves and change your life. Thank you for coming out. God bless you and good night.